Hey Beyonders, we're going to talk today about the NIM Starmap quest, and hopefully you'll find this video informative with more to follow. So first we're going to start out with getting a luck buff and movement speed. So you max that out from an entertainer. Once that's done, we're going to run out here. We're going to call it our G9 rigger, and then we're going to travel to the NIM Starmap start location. Now from here, you're going to walk over here to the security box, and inside of it's going to be a torn map. So you're going to remove that from the box, open your inventory, use the torn map, which then starts NIM Star Map Phase 1. Then call out your ITV, travel to normally Shuttleport A, click on travel here. For speed purposes, this is why we go through the Shuttleport, so you don't have to walk all the way through the Starport to get to NIM to start the quest. Now you're going to notice that there's very little dialogue between you and NIM, and that's because I've written a couple of macros that'll be added later. Um, and it really just speeds up this whole process. So what we're doing is we're going to skip part one because we don't want to go to Tatooine to get armor platings today, but you could. But today we're going to skip that. So from here, just verify that your quest tells you that you need to go and kill some Trandoshans on Kashyyyk. We'll go through the starport, Starship Launch Terminal, pick any chassis you want, and travel. And once you're on Kashyyyk, what you're going to want to do is you're going to mount up, and we're going to travel for quite a bit actually to this Trandoshan slaver camp area right here in the middle of the map. Oh, I got stuck. Uh, and you'll run this quest a lot. You're going to get stuck on things. It's not a big deal. Just try to find the perfect route for you. Personally, I take this route because you can travel down the river uh, and nothing's going to attack you. It gets you to your quest location the quickest. Um, Now, normally I actually run this with all 7 of our characters, but for today's purposes of the video, I'm just going to do it on the 1, just to show you how fast this quest can actually be done if you have your instant travel vehicles, the G9 rigger, the decrepit ITV, which stores 1 location. So what we're going to do now is we're going to attack these Trandoshians, and after you kill them, you're going to notice that you get a bloody clue. Now, it's not a guaranteed one-to-one drop, so you will have to kill quite a few of these from time to time before one actually drops. But the drop rate's decent. From what I've seen on other servers, this is actually one of the better ones. What you're looking for is the quest to update and says that all the pieces of the puzzle. So once you have that done, you're going to walk over here. You're going to call out your instant travel vehicle, the G9, and go back to the start of NIM Star Map quest. And then once you load here, you're going to want to call out your instant travel vehicle, and again go to normally Shuttleport A, saving you walk time through a starport. And if you're on a Jedi, force running is kind of ideal versus just pulling out a vehicle, in my opinion. But I mean, I can get this quest done in under 12 minutes, which I hope to show you today. So we're going to go through the NIMS hotel here, and again we're going to pull out the good old macro, which will just do all the conversation pieces to turn in the quest, and then the next macro will actually pick up the third part of the quest, which is a planet of death, which means we're going to travel to Dathomir. At the time of this video, the Owens Guild has provided a house that has a matron skull, which allows you to travel to the planet of Dathomir right to the entrance of the cave that we need to go into. This house was provided by Sage, so thank you very much for that. And it is open to the public. And if you notice, we just passed the escape pod, which is where the quest starts. So if you just head just over the hill, probably about 1,000 meters, you'll come to this small one-lot house here. So you're going to click on this matron skull, and you're going to click on Spider Clan Cave, or Spider Cave, however they have it listed there. And take advantage of your loading. So immediately head into the cave. The NPCs at the top don't even spawn in correctly because everything's kind of loading, so they don't even recognize you're there. Um, Now, personally, I say my force run to the point where I get into combat, or which is normally right here, but it didn't happen today. So I'm going to activate my force run about here, um, and if I was in combat, if you come to this location right here, you'll actually drop combat. And you can run this character as long as your character is level 90. You don't even have to have armor. You can literally just run straight through the cave. You're gonna come right here by this tower. Eye cloak. Click on the bones here. Make sure your quest updates, and then run outside of the cave. If you really wanted to speed this up, it would be ideal to have a couple characters that can do a group pickup point, preferably to a player city. At which point you could call out your ITV and go back to the start of NIM Starmap. Again, as you're running out of the cave, sometimes the mobs will aggro to you. If you get into combat, just keep running. Don't worry about fighting. If you're a medic, do not use heal over time. It's been proven time and time again, it will be your death. So now that we've reached the top of the cave, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to run down into this ravine down here, and you're going to call out your ITV. Um, I use the Decrepit here, which takes me back to our player city, which for us is on Tatooine, which is very convenient, especially when you're about to go on this next part of the quest, which is the final part. So once you load in, you call out your G9 rigger, go back to the NIM star map start location. Once that loads, you're going to call out your ITV and go to normally shuttle port A again. Then we're going to force run over to NIM, at which point the quest rewards you should have received at the end of this quest turn in, you'll have received a Protector Net shield, which is a certification level 8 shield, but it's a reverse engineer level of 7. I'll make a different video about why that's important. So by turning in this quest, you get a Quantum Ion Drive, which is a level 8 reverse engineering, level 8 certification. And now we pick up the next quest, which is a Notorious Smuggler, which is on Tatooine. So we're going to call out our ITV back to our player city. Now, if you don't have the Decrepit ITV, it is highly recommended that you place a couple of characters at Own Central, is where we do it, where you get constant GPPs offered to players. But from here, you're going to go to the Shuttleport A in Mos Eisley. And you could put a couple characters here to port yourself for this last part of the quest, saving you a lot of time. And if you're going to do that, then you might as well do 2 characters over at the Shuttleport A in on Rory, and normally there, and that way they can port you back to the Shuttleport right next to Nim. And this part of the quest, you'll save yourself at least 3 minutes of time. So then now what I've done is I've written a macro that does all the conversation pieces for talking to Han Solo here. And then I'm just going to force run out. I'm going to call out the Decrepit ITV, which ports me back to the player city. And then we're going to head over back to Nim and let him know that Han's being stingy and wants to charge 50,000 credits for his part, but you know, Nim will pay whatever he wants because Nim is Nim. So we call it our G9 rigger here. Go back to Nim's Starmap location there on Rory. Once we load, we're going to click on our ITB again, go back to shuttle port A on Normally. Once we load, come back to Nim. And again, I've got a macro written already, so it'll do all the conversation pieces, um, which saves you so much time. All right, so we go back out, and we're going to call it that decrepit ITV. Back to Tatooine. Go back to shuttle port in Mos Eisley. Now, sometimes what's going to end up happening, especially if you're running multiple clients, you're going to load into the shuttle port here at Mos Eisley, and sometimes you're just floating in the air. You can't actually move. Don't be afraid. It'll last for like 30 seconds, and then you'll be able to call out your vehicle and travel to the Lucky Despot, which is where Chewie and Han are playing in the back room here. And again, hit your macro for Han. Give him the fake. That 50,000 credits, by the way, is fake credits. Um, it's unfortunately at this time there's no way around that, so you have to go back and forth. We have made a petition on the QOL to have it players given the ability to spend their own credits in order to skip going back and forth on this quest as a that'll save players time, and it offers the server another credit sink. And if you're doing this quest with 7 characters, it's ideal because you're hitting that loot table several times you know, in a day, and sometimes you get really good parts. Other days you're going to have really bad parts. If you're not sure of how good your parts are, you can head over to the Mos Eisley starport, and as you load in, you'll see a Starship Component Analyzer, and you'll use that, and it'll tell you what percentage your part is, which will help you with your future RE projects. All right, well, that's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching the video, and you guys have a great day.